down.
Go live.
Yeah, it's at-
Good, you?
Yeah, she said to go live, we should count
With
down.
treats, huh?
Yeah. Sorry, I climbed up on the stool. We don't want to do that again. Okay, I have 5:30, we have everyone here, let's call the meeting to order. Begin with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Steve Aaron,
Here?
Carol Moncomb, here. Jay Jones,
Here.
Lexi Murphy, here. Jean Unruh,
Here.
Linda,
Here.
Kelly Todd.
Okay. So we have everyone in attendance, that's a quorum. Attendance of guests, our guests have signed in. Linda, Marlon, you signed in already, thank you. Okay. And we now need a motion to approve or amend the agenda.
I'll make the motion that we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Nancy has made the motion and Carol has seconded the motion to approve the agenda as noted. Do we have any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. All ayes, motion carries. Item 6 is to approve the minutes from the 4-3 regular meeting, which should be in your packet.
There is it says motion by Hancom, seconded by Jones, to improve installation of South O'Brien 2023 graduate banners. And it's got ayes, Hancom, Jones, Unruh, nays, Murphy, but Heron isn't listed.
Good eye, girl.
I don't know why I noticed that.
It happens. Did you come late? I see so.
Right, was that, he was an I, you're saying, or Steve, were you an I?
I don't know how I'm trying.
You don't remember?
I don't remember, I think I was, yes.
You think you were, yes? Okay. All right, I is added to your catch.
And with that correction, if there's nothing else, I make a motion to approve the minutes of 4-3-23 regular meeting. Done.
Okay,
I'll
is there
second it.
Anything else? Okay, we've had a motion from Jean and a second from Carol to approve the minutes with the correction to add here into the I's in the South Bryan 2023 graduate banners line item. If there is no further comments or discussion, call for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes with the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. All ayes. Motion carried, minutes approved. For claims, there are a couple additional claims also in blue.
I do have a question. So why is the SF City at TC Express still being used since I thought we deleted that on the additional claims? In the additional claims that she put on her thing, there's one that says,
Back to the first page.
yeah. Why are we?
Yeah, that was before it was shut down.
But that was dated Friday, April 7th.
It was just shut down.
Okay.
They were just here the other day.
Okay.
There's now, anyone who sends to that email gets bounced back with an alert that that is no longer an functional email. So hopefully those will start to get routed to the proper channels going forward.
Okay.
Any questions about the claims? fire department was the one that was from a donation that had been previously put in the wrong department, or put in the wrong category, and now needed to go where it's supposed to go, to the fire department. And Michelle needs her IMFOA membership so she can go to the class this Wednesday already, yeah, this week. And the auditor of the state sent us that email, that's one of the ones you have, I copied them both, but the two amounts depend on the budget, and they never filed them apparently or paid for that back in 2020 and 2021. They haven't received ours yet, our audit examination from Williams and Company this year for 22, because they're still working on it, and we think they might come back tomorrow to finish that up. So that's why we discovered these had not been paid, so, or they discovered, and we are offering to pay them.
And that's on the regular ones, or?
No, that's on the special one.
That's one that Lexi pointed
Yeah,
out, that
the
came
email.
from SF City.
It came to that email.
Okay.
It's in there,
It's just one of them.
So yeah, I think that shows everything, and you see on the back is the Ag State
Oh, I see,
situation
that was a
there.
little letter that you got.
Yeah, the email. But there were two of them, but they say about the
Yeah, I
same
wonder
thing.
how that happened.
No clue. What else do you want to say on here? Anything else to point out?
But did you guys, I'm sure you did, you went back and looked, and there was nothing. Okay.
It's kind of funny how.
It is, and then it
in
wouldn't take them this long for
20
them.
Yeah, that's,
That's where you're going.
yep.
Yep.
I did kind of ask her that. She said the person before her was maybe not as thorough or something. It's kind of how she gently said it. But she's on it now, so she discovered.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's one person you don't want to not pay, so we will pay them.
Right. Yeah, and you have not heard from Justin at all? Okay, he's coming tomorrow or not?
Any questions on what's listed here? Is there a back? There's no back, in case anyone is thinking they got a dud copy, there is no back. It's just the front page.
Keep looking at the back and there's nothing in there. What's the breakdown high performance patch thing?
That's the side pothole fix.
That's what I figured, so.
They ran out trying to.
Oh, they did?
From what
Oh,
it took so much to do.
Okay.
Parts of girls back in Maine that they ran out. And then the O'Brien County Economic Development, that had been in the budget previously for that amount, and it's divided in two ways, and so that is on there to be paid. They sent a letter saying that they had not received their 22 commitment yet.
When does that usually do?
I don't know how it's just due, but I just sent a letter now, so,
Okay.
and it was budgeted, so it was in there.
Okay. Perfect.
Anything else you can put here? Backhoe has really nice new tires that should outlast the backhoe, probably, maybe, hopefully.
It was over $2,400.
Is that one of the things we're talking about trading off though?
No, not that one.
Okay, that's better.
Backhoe, not the dump
I
truck.
hope not.
No, that was the street sweeper. Anything else? Rich back. See if he's planning to come. Any questions about the claims?
So the one that you said from the auditor, so that would be, that's like or something?
It's 250 plus 175.
Yeah, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims for this evening.
Okay, Jean's made a motion to approve payment of claims. Do we have support? Lexi, that was a second.
Yep.
Thank you. Jean and Lexi have made a motion in the second to approve payment of claims. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving payment of claims from the original sheet and the additional claims on the blue paper tonight, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. All ayes, motion carries. Number 8 is to approve the applicant for the fire department. Ryan, you want to fill us in?
Have a new junior firefighter applicant. It is Jordan Wolf. His parents are Mark and Melinda Lester. He's a junior at South O'Brien High School. Lives just around the corner. So, active and hard worker already.
Has it been coming to meetings?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make a motion.
Whoops. I'll make a motion to approve him.
I'll second.
All right, Carol and Lexi have a motion and seconded approval of Jordan Wolf for the junior membership to the fire department. Any other discussion or questions for Ryan or otherwise? All in favor of approving Jordan Wolf for junior fire department membership, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. All ayes, motion carried. Welcome to Jordan. Okay, number 9, approved personnel, summer help start date, the police officer, the deputy clerk raise, assistant clerk and city hall cleaner, job postings and descriptions. There are many personnel related and employee tasks, and the employee committee has done some of in advance for you to have to review, but it's time to get some input and figure out what you're going to do. The police officer ad ran for a while and has not now.
So the assistant clerk, so we have the city clerk, so shouldn't we be appointing a city clerk before we hire an assistant clerk?
She would be the assistant.
According to the ordinance, right now it defaults, just as it did previously, defaults to the deputy clerk.
So we don't
takes
have to
on
be
the duties.
appointed.
Well, we will once
Right.
we get one, yes.
But now we want to do that interim if we're going to work with Carol. So she would be our city clerk. She would be the deputy
She'd
clerk.
maintain deputy, and then you just get an assistant or an office
And just
assistant.
be an office person.
Doesn't have to have a clerk name.
Okay.
Until she gets it, then we can always move that person to deputy. But you don't want to hire a deputy at this point.
No.
No.
So,
So you don't want to hire a clerk or?
this would be a clerk, assistant clerk.
So this would be like the city clerk, like what we,
Not like what Sandy was, not what like Scott was. That is a clerk. I mean, that was our city clerk.
right.
This is just,
Yeah, that's what
office
I'm asking. You don't
assistant.
want to go that route then, or what?
Well, not if she's
No,
interested
Michelle
in
would like
going
to
up
move
to
into
it.
that position.
She's interested in taking it once she learns, and we've asked her if she's interested. So we don't want to put her and say, oh, sorry, you stay put.
No.
Yeah, just wanted clarification on that.
Okay? So, I don't know if you thought there was any more that she put on the actual ad.
I read through it, it looks
Pretty good.
pretty good, yeah.
I thought it looked pretty good too. And I think Jay, you were okay with it?
Yes.
Now, has this gone out? Or just that we're advertising for one?
Okay, so I see like managing other permits such as like sign golf carts and all that, legally, I don't think they have to permit anything now because the governor took that off a few years, like last year.
Where are you at?
ATVs it does, but I think golf carts are still.
I think golf carts are still as ATVs because when we asked last year, we did not have to register our golf cart
With the county or here?
here.
No, here you don't, but I think, don't you up there?
The county.
That's with O'Brien? I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
asking
think
you.
so.
The city
Can I
has to
an-
own.
Carol, can I answer that for you? About registering four-wheel golf carts and stuff with the county. DNR took that over. The county gets no more, you don't do anything with
So
the
again,
county
we don't,
anymore.
so I think we could probably, we don't have to have permits anymore for those.
But doesn't the county the one that puts them out for the DNR?
I don't know, I don't know.
I don't
I
think
thought
so.
they said no. I thought I was
So where do you
calling
get 'em at
last
then?
spring too.
Where do you get them at then?
You don't have to register anymore.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. The DNR took, the state took it over.
I know up at
cities
the
just
lakes
can't
they
city
do,
is-
separately.
They have
The
to get a
city can't
sticker.
charge.
Or
Cities
some
can't
kind of
charge
a,
state
additional
can.
fee.
but
for
I don't know
ATVs.
here. I guess I can't tell you if it's, you know, it
And-
should be the
and I
same
think
all over.
The city ordinances still exist too.
Yes, we never did have that corrected, we just stopped charging people.
So we can't charge anybody.
Yeah, that came through last July
We
already.
need to amend
Right.
it, so we'll get that amended for our next meeting probably.
But you know, you look at like snowmobiles, you know, how they go through the county and stuff like that too.
True. Yeah, I do not know. I guess it's.
I was just saying, we could take that off, that's all I was.
Your
Oh,
old
I
sticker, yeah, your old
Oh,
sticker.
you mean on the,
On the job description
Oh.
is what I
okay.
was talking about.
oh, okay.
Well, he or she will have to manage like peddlers permits, stuff like that, so just.
Just
remember
like
golf carts.
carts and like, yeah, all that, that's what I
Yeah.
was, yep.
Yeah.
And we probably should add the four-wheeler or whatever they call them.
ATVs, they're not anything we can charge for now.
No, we don't charge them per person like we were
We
doing.
don't charge at all.
Right.
So we get clarification on the golf cart versus ATV and what we need to do to update our
Yeah.
ordinances, because those are in separate ordinances.
Check on that.
Nate here to talk about the police officer, but just need to know what you want to do with that or what's, how to proceed in finding a candidate.
Jay, I thought you had an idea on the police officers. You get a hold of,
Get hold of WIT or something like that, but don't they have a criminal justice
yep, they do.
programs?
But I thought that was a good idea.
And Nate was gonna get with, don't they have something with the state too? I mean,
The website or
website or
something.
something. Yeah, he's
Okay,
not
that
here.
we can check into that.
Yeah.
Iron Lakes has a criminal justice.
Yeah, they
too.
need to know that.
So if we could send our athlete to their schools.
And in there, yeah, their guidance counselors too.
Yeah, whatever.
Whoever goes, you know, they have counselors for getting a job or whatever.
And then I think for the cleaning, we just put up one, set one out back around town, or do we put it? Usually we've gotten that pretty fast. But, I don't know.
I don't think a job description officially exists. If anyone would like to write one for the expectations, that would be great, but.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one.
No, I've never seen one of
Done that,
that.
but
So,
might not be a bad idea, I guess, to establish.
yeah.
So the summer help start date, had asked to wait until you saw budget and information, so that has been seen and reviewed, I assume, and Kelly is asking you to appeal to your senses in getting that
Get it started.
resolved.
Yeah.
Or-
I like as soon as possible.
Yes,
Yeah,
right,
as
we
soon as
need to
possible.
get it going. So,
No, that's just all part of this, so you just make multiple
A full motion.
motions if you have certain things you want to approve and decide to do.
And it's a deputy clerk raise. I think we need to give Michelle a raise.
Yep. I would agree.
Okay.
And I think Jay and I kind of talked about it, and we were kind of thinking around $2 an hour. Even though it's not our 6-month raise, it's because of all the
Then when that comes, she'll have her
regular
training done and
raise.
all that
And
stuff.
it'll be,
Give
yep,
her a
And then maybe
raise.
do another one.
yep, and then we'll do another one. Plus it'll be the 1st of July, right in that time too.
I was just asking this July.
So we'll do this one starting, I don't know when we want to put the start date on, but I think it should be
Now.
immediate. Yep, I do too. Starting as of today. Because when was your payroll? Payroll was as of what date? Last week. And that included what, I know it was the last week of
There
March.
was already a week on it, so then it'd be this week on the next payroll.
Just make it easy and start it when
Yep.
you started the new bi-weekly.
Well, you want to start last week then, right?
Why not?
Okay, right?
Then, because you have what, last week and this week on?
Yeah,
I
we're
try
doing
to-
2 weeks, yep.
I try to juggle it around.
Otherwise you've got to split it again.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Yep, I'm okay with that. So that would be, what date was that? 10th? Yes. Last week, Monday would have been the 10th.
Yes. Someone want to summarize into an official motion with all that? It doesn't have to be all of the items, just the
Oh,
one at
okay.
one topic at a time would be fine.
Okay.
I move that we give Michelle a $2 an hour raise effective starting this last pay period.
Okay. Jay has made the motion to award the deputy clerk $2 an hour raise effective as of last pay period start, which is April 10th.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second, motion by Jay and a second by Jean. Any other questions or discussion on that topic? Okay, all in favor of approving that raise as noted, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. For all ayes, motion carries.
I'll make a motion to have the summer help start as soon as possible.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion by Jean and a second by Steve to approve an immediate start date for summer help, which was Randy Riedemann. Do we have any other discussion or questions related to that? Right now, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the summer help start date as tomorrow, or whenever he's available, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. All ayes, motion carries. All right.
Do we need to clarify anything else?
All of
Yes,
this is-
direction, well, you need direction on whether you're posting ads, whether you're posting descriptions, whether you're,
I don't
What you're
think we
doing.
should post descriptions. I think we should just do the ad, and if they're interested, they come in and
Tell them to
hand them a description.
Well, that assistant clerk ad already is posted, correct?
not
I don't think
technically,
so.
I know.
Actually, wasn't it on Facebook?
Just says
Just the name.
looking, wasn't it?
Isn't this-
I thought it said the deadline on the 28th on there.
On the Facebook?
Yeah, that's not, that's it.
I thought it just said as clerk and
It's a
police
deadline,
officer.
4:30 PM, Friday, April 28th. for the
Oh, on
position
that
to
thing
fill.
it does, but
Yeah.
not on the Facebook. it
No,
doesn't.
not on.
Yes.
Right now, this is scheduled as a display ad with the Marcus News for Thursday's edition, so if you need her to pull that, you'll have to inform her immediately.
I know, I think we should leave it there and also do it with the Golden Shopper. My motion would be to but the actual posting of the assistant clerk, the Marcus News, and the shopper.
Okay.
And maybe put them in like the post office and city hall here and stuff too.
Okay. Everybody
I'll
catch that
second
motion?
that.
Thank
Yes.
you. All right, so Carol make that motion and Jean with the tick second, okay? All right, we've had a motion to post the assistant clerk job opening to the Marcus News ad, a Golden Shopper ad, and around to the post office and in the office here. Do we have any other discussion or clarification on that? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. We hear all ayes, motion carries. Any direction on the police officer or city cleaner?
The one we just voted on, post, should we look at NCC too? They have,
Okay, that's a good idea.
they have
So I think reach
a
out to them.
bookkeeping course,
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
and maybe WIC too.
No, you said Iowa Lakes also.
Iowa Lakes too.
Yeah,
Might as well do all
I wouldn't
three of
hurt,
them,
get it around.
Yeah.
okay.
Since we're calling for the police.
And then do the police, maybe you want to do that one then with the police officers. We didn't do
Is
that
it, do we,
before.
we're just,
We
are we
just did
posting
the-
again?
We
We're gonna
have,
post it again, we never got anything out of that, did
well,
we?
we got one out.
Well, we got that one
Well,
that we
yeah.
had.
Oh, so you wanna post it again?
Well, right now, nothing is happening.
Nothing is done, it's,
No.
It's just
stopped.
parked, essentially. It's,
So,
so if you want to try these other options.
Do we try the
before-
college options first before we
Sure.
post it again?
well, that might be a thought.
That's a good idea.
I don't know when they get done, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure Nate could add something to that, but we'll check with him.
sure.
Okay?
Do we need a motion on that, or do we just continue?
You're not asking to spend any money, so I think you're
Oh, okay.
just giving direction. I
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
Direction.
Sounds good.
And same for the city cleaner. You said you didn't want ads then on that, just post it around and
Yep,
Maybe do Facebook and
yep,
flyer. Okay.
flyer.
yep.
All right. Okay, so there we have direction as well. That does not require a separate motion. Okay. Thank you for getting through that one. All right, number 10, approve the O'Brien County Community Community Foundation grant sponsorship for the Wonderland Theater Phase 3 seats, flooring, ceiling update. So I don't know if you've heard about that story, but we ended up getting the seats donated from a theater, another theater, and so now it is just a matter of how to install all those seats. And then while you have the seats out, we need to take care of the leaks in the roof and the roofing material and things like that. So it's not outside roof, inside ceiling. And so they are looking to that grant.
Okay, hold on a second.
So how can we,
So, yeah,
how can we approve this without,
No, how can you,
You're not spending money. This is the same thing as you did last year.
This one, we just keep
You
them,
just did it
they
again.
can't do it on their own.
Because they're the
Wonderland.
We just have to
we're
approve what they
there,
pay
we're
for.
there.
That's
They have
sponsor.
to, they wrote the grant.
I have a question.
Yeah, you don't have to
What
do anything,
What you
it's
just
just-
said, no, is, how do you have leaks in your ceiling if you don't have them in your?
Well, I think they were from before.
Oh,
When there
oh,
was that.
they're
that-
stained.
There's stains
Oh,
and
they're stained,
rotten
okay.
tiles. and
Okay,
some of
I
them-
thought you had leaks. I'm like.
No, that would be bad. We're not gonna fix the roof.
Let it steam.
Yeah,
It's like, how do you
that
have a
would be
leak?
tricky. Just start the ceiling. No,
Yeah.
I think that was from before, and some of the tiles are now falling down.
Yeah, oh yeah, that happens.
That's not on people's heads yet, but, so.
What do you do
that's
with the
our-
old seats
Have
then?
to bring our
You want
umbrellas.
some?
No, thanks.
So, that was
They're
pretty
not
bad.
comfortable enough for me.
No, we have to figure that out.
Gotta get the ones like they have in Wood City.
Well, these are.
That's kinda where they came from.
Yeah.
No, but those are sleepers.
Oh, the
I'm
deluxe
out in
ones.
about 5 minutes and then.
So
No,
anyway,
see
again,
that-
it's the
yeah.
same as you've done. I think the last
Yeah.
3 of them have been run through that way. We can't find any file, but we found that they had, the Wonderland had a copy of the letter that Sandy had written last year or whatever, so it's the same thing as what they need done. And then that's, remember when you saw the construction claim
Yeah.
came through, and then
Yep.
they just, same thing, it's kind of like you have to put the money through the city first before it gets to pay to the theater. or whatever,
Because
all the grants.
they're nonprofit.
But I think
503C. and
they're not
Yeah.
like G or some of
We're
them
their
are-
sponsor,
so
like the
it's
J.C.'s and Primgar does for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all
It's the
done with
same.
the existing, the concession booths and the bathrooms and all that?
Yeah, yeah, have you not been in?
I haven't been in there.
Yeah, it's really
It's very
nice.
nice.
Yeah, come check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, so
I
they're
can
okay.
sleep in my chair at home.
Well, you should get popcorn first, and then you can check it out.
Yeah.
No, I like the theater there, that's a good value.
Yes, it is. Perfect. So you need a motion on that sponsorship then?
Sure.
I'll make a motion that the city sponsors the grant for Wonderland Theater from O'Brien County.
I'll second.
Okay, Carol has made the motion and Jean has seconded to approve OBCCF's grant sponsorship, fiscal sponsorship for Wonderland Theaters, next phase regarding their seats, floors, and ceilings. Do we have any other questions or clarification? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. All ayes, motion carries. Thanks for that. Number 11, Lexi, I'll lead this charge here. Approve the beautification plan for spring, summer with hanging baskets and standing pots, because there needs to be some more direction to the florist to know what to do. She has planned on 4 pots, 4 hanging baskets.
Yep.
But then we talked about standing pots, but there was no actual direction. So before we give her something to do or not,
Well, do we have a quote how much this is gonna be?
Well,
just what I've had before, the
I think I had
$1,000
It was a couple thousand, wasn't it, last year?
Well, I
I
got,
don't think it was that much.
700 was the blooming house, yes.
Yeah,
well,
five
but
hundred
that's,
something.
but we haven't
KT.
gotten a quote from KT yet. 'Cause that's what-
No, she probably had to, the old one was like 5 something for the
And
pots.
KT did the pots.
She did all the pots.
She has. And then no matter of the watering, that, who's going to handle that.
Right. Well, and you know, at one time, businesses used to do it, but I don't know if they want to do it.
Well, I think maybe we should give the businesses an option. If they want to take care of them and water them, fine, put a pot
Well,
there
if
for
it's a
them.
pot right in front, I mean, can't.
But
I
if
mean,
they-
we, at the prairie market, we already have 2 pots already that we put flowers in ourselves.
Yourself.
Right.
And we water them ourselves.
Yeah.
So I would just say,
Well, we could ask them, or send a letter maybe, or something.
Yeah, if they would want a pot
A
or a
big one
planter
like
there.
that we've got.
but they're gonna, if they wanna water it, then that's fine. Otherwise, I just say the 4 hanging baskets.
Is all that the city will water?
Yep.
Or that's
Well,
all
maybe
you
we
want?
should send a letter first, before we get people saying, well, how come we haven't done this?
Well, if they want to, we have the pots, or we can
Right.
provide them. If they wanted to plant flowers and maintain them.
Okay, well, I was gonna say unless we let Katie do it, but we'd have to find out who's interested first,
Yeah.
like she did before. I mean, I don't know, maybe they'd rather pot them, or, you know, plant them themselves.
I just think that's just a huge mess. I mean,
Oh, it looks nice.
it does. I mean,
Let me see your thumbs. Green?
No.
It looked better than
Don't
that,
kill 'em.
ugly trees downtown.
the trees need to come out.
Okay, so do we have any further direction in the
I
form
guess
of a
just
motion?
send the letters and see who wants the standing pots, and if they will consider.
But they have to take care of them.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
they-
what I would go with.
We're sending
Please
letters
call the city out, the city back, and if they don't, then we know they're not interested.
Right.
by a certain date.
May 1st, or our next May meeting.
Yep, I think that's good.
That's long enough.
Yep, because
So
by
they
then
have
they'll
to
know.
answer before that.
Yep.
And they can have them potted by KT if they would like, if they don't want to do
Yep.
it. I mean, yes, there's a pay, but,
Okay.
I mean, we can.
But
Or
that-
are we potting them and they just take care of them?
That's
Well,
what we just-
before we did, we
So-
paid for them to be potted. I don't know if we want to
We
do it
took care
again.
of them, we watered them, and we
We
did.
did everything.
Yeah.
But we can provide the pots.
We could provide the pots and they can, if they want to plant their own, they can.
Right.
If they want somebody else to plant them, they can.
Yep.
But I would say it'd be up to them.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I agree.
We
They
could-
have to
We could
maintain
provide those pots that we own, but if they want to plant something in them, we'll get it there, they're on their own, they plant them, they maintain them.
Yep.
But for
It
sure,
could be
order
a
the
letter-
4
It could be a letter
hanging.
to
Yep.
that effect.
Right, those
Yeah,
she's already
something
working
you
on.
said.
Yep, those are
She
already,
just
So-
asked about those
yeah.
others.
We're just providing the pots.
The
That's
pots,
what says
they
provide
provide
the flowers.
flowers,
Yes.
water, and maintenance.
Yep.
And we'll send a letter to see how many of those, I think we have 8, maybe, we gotta count how many there are. Kelly didn't know for sure.
There's a bunch of them down there.
I think they already have the soil in, so.
Yeah, I think you leave that in.
Wouldn't have to worry about.
Okay. All right, so that has given us direction about spending, so that is fine, and we're fine on the standing, or the hanging
Hanging, yep.
baskets, those are still 4, she was counting on those, so we're
Mhm.
good there.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so everything is as.
And then what about taking the trees out?
I don't think that's a
That,
priority.
maybe we should look at item number 12 before we talk
Yeah,
about
I
those
think we
trees.
gotta look at
Oh,
that
trees.
first.
Got it.
Other kinds of trees, like.
Yeah.
So the ash tree removal, and Kelly did not get back that list, but, so, we have the list, there were 96 trees, they took down 5, at least from one property had 5, so they took down those last fall already. So it leaves us with like
Is
90.
this on the city parking?
Yeah, these are all the
Okay.
city trees, city parking or boulevards or whatever.
Do we have a bid?
Well, it's that same way back.
So we
bid,
still
that's
have money
2010.
left with them.
You still got
No,
one.
not left.
They haven't made up to our amount yet?
No, we don't, you have to set that amount of what you are willing to have. He was going to prioritize them and give you, and say, these are really too large for him to worry about, and he wanted to give you a number, but he wasn't able to get that done today because they had other things to worry about, but.
We need to worry first about the power lines.
Yeah.
$6,000 or
agree.
whatever last year was set for
Right.
power lines, and none of that was done.
Yeah,
We need,
okay.
and that's baloney, that money, we voted on that was for the power line stuff.
I think we need
The power lines have to be done.
They
That's
have to
a
be done.
priority.
Okay,
They have
yeah.
to be done.
Power lines
And
first.
I do think that sounded like Carol's, that Kelly had talked to them, that they'd work together on some of the trees, is the thing I got from her. After
Well, we don't have to take down all of them right now.
No,
If
only
you-
if they're really bad
if they're-
disease,
If
right?
they're dead, you know, up
Fine.
top, like
Right.
I've been complaining about the one my neighbor has, you know, that it's gonna fall one of these days. on
And that one,
something.
then it would be a priority.
It's a big problem, and they need to get it out. At least go trim the dead stuff off of it. Or what, you know,
And it is
it's-
an ash one too?
Yes. I mean, there's no bark at all on
Oh.
half of it. So, and then if we're doing this, we gotta, I don't know who's gonna do it, but somebody's gonna have to go around and tag trees
The bad, really
and,
bad
and
ones.
and property, and other people's properties.
They're gonna have to pick which ones are priority too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cause there's some that aren't necessarily in the power lines, but if they fall down, they're gonna take power
Yep.
lines.
Yeah.
Amen, that's
Well,
why
then-
we gotta get,
so-
and they've got that
I
list though
think it's
from
12
that.
feet, I think that you can't have a branch within 12 feet, I think it is, of a
Power
power
line.
line.
I don't
So,
know.
and you look at, you go down into town.
Yeah,
They're
but what I'm
ones
saying
that-
is there's some trees that are
Yeah, regular trees.
on the other side of the street,
Yeah.
ash trees that die, and if they fall down, they're gonna take the power line down with it.
So you're saying that's.
Because some of
then
those
they need to
trees are
move those.
40, 50 feet tall. So
I think
they're
we,
gonna
yeah.
have to look at that too.
Yeah.
I think they gotta see both. Power lines are a priority, but like you said, if the trees are in the power line and they're bad,
We'll
So
just take the
he'll
whole
have to
thing
get
down.
that
you know,
figured out.
Right.
Don't go trim it, go ahead and.
If it's an ash tree, it's gonna have to come down.
regardless,
It's too bad.
if it's in the,
You know,
especially
My
if it's in
neighbor's
the right
there,
of way.
he has.
Well, then we also need to probably, when we discuss it, like how many years we're gonna give the ones that are not on city property.
Well, I guess it's
Or
what they
would-
show.
Yes, that's up to them.
That's,
Yeah.
but we have to have somebody go around and tag them though.
Right, but shouldn't we give them so many years to get them out, or?
Can we
is
do
it
that?
gonna be-
No.
I don't know if we can do that in private property.
I just didn't know, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless it has a danger, emergency danger, like Lynn property,
Falling on somebody else's property.
or power lines, or
Yeah.
a
Right.
street, a sidewalk where people walk in.
Yeah.
Then you have something
Right.
like that.
Well, that's why I don't feel we wanna do the ones in the parking if they're, you know, if they're looking fine. We only take down the
Save
ones
those
that
for
are
last, right?
bad. So,
so let's leave it up to Kelly to decide
Yep.
which ones are priority and
yep,
get his power lines
cleaned up,
cleaned up.
sounds good.
Okay. All right, do we want to have a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion that we leave it up to Kelly on what trees to take down and then
And the power lines
and the
are
power
powered.
lines, yeah, part, and the power lines.
Okay. Alright, Lexi made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jay. To let Kelly take the lead on removing ash trees and focusing on the power lines situation first. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. Ayes, motion carries. Okay, did we hear anything from Mr. Freck?
No.
So item 13, you do have that in your packet. We can just generally speak to it. Rich was hoping to be here, I think, to discuss it and answer any questions you have. And I also have called the city of Oakland's mayor because they've also done this before, but have not gotten a call back yet to see how it went. That's what they had asked us to do, so, and to hear what they thought of their agreement so far, but since neither of those things are happening as of today. But basically, I don't know, do you want me to summarize it, or what? Do we think they're offering to trade in that amount of down there, the $109,000 worth of our equipment, as noted above, that would be exchanged for that equipment. And they're looking to do this basically every year. The usage fee is $8,000 or $5,000 for the year for the lease payment, the rental payment. And that's based on that usage and those hours, so if it goes over, they're covered. If it doesn't, they're still covered. There's zero maintenance, there's zero other costs involved. It's basically just like taking new equipment out on a test drive, using it. The AgriVision supports it fully. And they give us these amounts for our trade-in. They did not have a backhoe and a dump truck and an excavator yet, I believe, are the ones we still would have our own equipment of. But as you can see, just the price of the dump truck tires, these things have expensive wear parts. And as the vehicles age, the equipment ages, the wear parts get more expensive and get more frequent. And so your cost is easily over $8,000 a year, I would say. That's typically what you've had budgeted for putting into equipment that's older every year anyway. So these numbers are not out of line with that. And actually, that was almost in every fund had about that much. So and he's talking about using that 109 value as your initial fee, so you would just work off of that. It would take you a while till you needed to actually have some out-of-pocket costs related to these pieces of equipment, which is pretty crazy.
So that's $282,000. What is that? Is that what we have to pay,
Where are
or
you at?
at the bottom, what
That's
is this
it.
subtotal?
That's if you bought the.
If we bought them.
If you bought them.
Okay.
The selling price, that's the value of that machine, but you're only using it, the usage fee is in
Right.
the middle column.
Okay.
So you're just using it for a year. He wants gently used, nicely used equipment, well cared for equipment back for his used market, is how this came to be, I guess. That's where the dealerships have started to do these with municipalities or county governments, I believe, too, in some cases where they know they have decent maintenance.
So we would basically have $109,000 to work with.
Right, as your fund, that would
Okay.
give you a few years' worth here.
Yeah.
Now, all this equipment listed is what we have already?
Well, I'm looking at that, okay, the wheel loader is the big wheel loader, and then
Yeah.
the skid steer, of course, but there's two track loaders down here, excavators. I
Yeah,
understand
the excavator and the track loader,
that. Yeah.
that's the same as the skid steer, basically.
No, the skid steer's up above.
I know there's two of those though, and I think that's the one, and again, this has been a while since I heard this story from them, but.
Oh, the
from-
skid steer's
was-
the track.
It's a
one.
track version of
Okay.
it, but it would also be, that one could be stored still at John Deere, and we only would need to use it and pay off, like if they use it, it comes
Yeah.
off they pay us, and
Okay.
it's kind of like a shared
Why do
machine.
we need two skid loaders?
That's-
Because we have that device that mounts on the skid loader
Pole handler.
to set poles, and then one of these wasn't big enough
Oh,
to do that, so then
Probably
when,
the
Probably the track one's big enough.
Yeah, so then when we need the track one to set poles with that attachment, then we'll go out and get
Go out
that
and
one.
get that one. Okay, that's good. Then
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
what,
'cause
that's
the
what that's,
tracks.
yeah.
And that little excavator, do we use that enough to?
Oh, yeah. They use that a lot.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do.
I've never seen it out.
Southeast Big Graves,
I don't go out
I was
there.
gonna say, do we dig graves up at
I think so.
What do we make, all $200 on that?
Is it 2 or 4?
And then they bought didn't they buy a 12-inch bucket for it,
Mhm.
so they can dig power lines, so they aren't digging that huge. So I think we have attachment for that. Going up. Anyway,
So, do we, I mean,
So who were you trying to call for this?
Rich, correct, was going, Rich
No, but
Rector.
you said you talked to Oakland.
Oh, Oakland, Iowa, the mayor of Oakland has done
Done
this,
this
I
already?
don't know for how long. That's the name I asked if, remember, I think you guys asked if any
Yes,
other
if
city
we
had
know
done it.
anybody.
So that's what Rich got us, is this name,
Okay.
and he has not called back, but we can try to reach him again, and obviously having Rich here to answer any more questions would be useful, but we
Yep.
figured we'd bring it out to you at least, and think about this, because obviously this would affect and impact your budget in a relatively quite positive way. And right now, it's budgeted to continue spending to update and maintain your ones, but this is, instead of starting to save a fund for buying said equipment, you then have it continually updated and cared for.
Yeah, I think it's something to check into.
It's, yeah.
And also to find out what you heard from your other guy
Okay.
that has them.
Would be or something to the dot.
so I kind of threw out what happens if this, in a year, maybe, or in 5 years, if this would end, then where are we at?
Yeah, we have
What
nothing.
You have no
position?
equipment, right?
We are, yeah.
We have
Um,
nothing.
They didn't seem to think that that would happen, but typically everything comes to an end. But at that point, we could purchase, we'd have
Any of
the
it,
option to
right.
purchase.
But we'd have to purchase so much then.
Well, you'd
Right.
be buying your, yeah.
You'd be buying
back
what,
your-
you'd be buying your used equipment.
so that's what that
Like a lease.
subtotal was when I asked,
Yeah,
what that was way down there.
It's for a new product. Yeah,
Right.
that's the way to-
Just like leasing a car.
Yep,
That's
same
what I
thing.
figured.
yeah.
It'd be 20,
It'd be this-
what
it'd be
this
lower.
rate would be $22,000.
And then you take so many hours on it and
This
We
is-
have so many miles on
So
it.
that's what it's
You need to buy out
showing,
the
usage
balance.
fee, lease payment,
okay.
8,000,
All this
15,000
equipment
plus
is stuff
8,000.
we've got now
That'd be
that's listed, or is this
22,000
stuff that,
a year we'd be
what?
paying out After this, after we go through
All
our.
the equipment.
Right, so you got about
That's
4
all
years.
we have.
Okay. We don't
So
have
after the first 4 years, you
any
should be
stuff.
saving
That's
that
what they
then
got,
Yep.
that we
into a
could
fund
use.
so that we
we
can buy.
or
Plus,
what
we
is
do have
that?
equipment that isn't covered by them. Our street sweeper is still giving us trouble. The big dump truck just got very expensive tires.
Yeah,
It
that
wasn't
would be what we
necessary.
trade, so we trade our old stuff in.
I know, this was new. That Caterpillar.
That's that 2020,
Yeah.
skid loader, track loader.
Unless we did some of it first to see how we feel it works, rather than jump in all of it. I don't know.
I think it's like a win-win for the both of us. Like, if something does break down, then we're not responsible to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand
I
that. It
mean-
just makes me a little nervous.
And then we get new, say if it's every 2 years, I mean, then we get something new, you
Yep.
know?
Well, I know farmers do it with their big equipment.
Right. Or it sounds like
If
every
they've got
year,
like
so that
one or
would
two
be,
things, we're looking at bunches. And I'm not saying the money's bad, I'm just saying, I don't know. I think it's good to find out, check it out.
I think more people are going to use their stuff than new stuff.
We could always amend our budget.
Yeah,
But
we
we're
can
gonna
always, well, we, yeah.
Say if I can speak. The biggest thing right now you're looking at is like your wheel loader is a 1998. That's a ticking time bomb. What is gonna go wrong with that?
Sure.
So, I mean, that's a critical piece of equipment that they use daily. So, I mean,
Right.
And that's one of your most expensive pieces of equipment on that whole list.
Yep, I see that. And that's a 98?
Yeah, it's a 1998, what the city has, and it has a lot of hours on it.
They just put it, like, what, $1,100 and you get an electronics next time or something.
Have them melt the snow. Those lots.
That thing's been around for a long time.
So, I mean,
And that's a heavy duty machine.
And to get 23,000.
I'm just trying to help answer some questions since
What do we
Kelly's
do
not
with the
here.
wheel loader?
Yep.
The wheel loader?
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything?
We use it on a
I
day-to-day
mean,
basis.
literally, it's, I would have to bet it's probably on every day.
Okay.
I'm gonna make the motion that we do it.
I think we should wait
I
till
think
we
wait till
see
we see.
what this other guy says. I mean, you can make your motion, but that's where I feel. We want
I
to
thought we
hear.
talked about it a little bit at the last meeting with Kelly.
Yeah, we did.
And he was kind of for it, so that's why I was like,
Okay.
well, I'm gonna still make the motion, I guess.
Okay.
To do it.
All right, Lexi's made the motion to approve the equipment rental proposal from Agrivision. Approve to go ahead and proceed with that. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, a second by Steve. So we've had a motion and a second by Lexi and Steve to consider to approve the equipment rental proposal from Agrivision, quote, and I'm sure it might change slightly, obviously, from
Oh,
what
yeah,
was
since
quoted
it's a
to
month
now.
old.
Yeah. But knowing that, any other further discussion? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor of approving the Agrivision rental proposal for 4 pieces of equipment, say aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna say nay.
And opposed, say nay.
That's what
Carol and Jay. That's 3-2. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay, item 14 is a revisit of the last time, last meeting. You asked for an updated you'll notice it didn't change because it wasn't really an issue with the date, or the amount was the same, but you got one that says the new date now from Pinnacle. I explained that. And you should have, other information, I guess, has been brought up recently about the ownership, or, well, first of all, let's talk to the legality of said website. The City of Paulina's website, a government entity that maintains, you have this legal document in front of you, it's from Iowa Code. A governmental entity that maintains an internet site shall cause to be published the contact information for each of the entity's elected public officers on the internet site maintained by the entity. And it just explains that that's how you are supposed to list how to contact all of you. That has not been on there for 6 years or so, I think, but, and it's not on there currently, so that is the legal part. I believe someone misunderstood of what that was, why the site that is currently there has not been legal by Iowa code rules. So you have that information. And you have a summary sheet to show the 3 options, I guess, and what your issues are with ownership. You'll also see a very recent email about ownership, since that was a question, and someone made it sound like that wasn't a thing. So if you'll read, simply put, if you purchase the domain name, you own the domain name. As far as ownership of the site and content, you have full ownership of that as well. That was a period after that statement. And in the back, in my experience, what happened to you with your old site and domain name is unheard of. I simply can't imagine someone doing business this way.
Did you know
I'm
that in
sorry?
2010,
Just-
Google had to buy back Google.com for
We're not talking about
$10,000?
Google,
You're out
are
of
we?
order.
Anyway, so in case we were curious about whether it was owned or not and what's owned, it is a fact that unlike one of the vendors offering to own it all, the city actually will own it with both Fireworks and Pinnacle. And as you see, there's plenty of other details as well. That is included in their quotes. And at the bottom, you can see the actual math for the initial design fee and a monthly cost, and per hour fee if you were gonna ask them to do additional work, and then the term of the contract. So that boils down,
No,
you don't have one?
No, I don't have one either.
We don't have those.
Table.
What? Is it here yet? Oh, right there. They're all right there.
Lexi, you needed one?
I got one now, did I give him one?
No,
Oh, this is one I sent.
no, you got,
Do you need it? I
no,
can.
I don't need it.
Oh, okay. I can,
Same one as the one you sent? Oh, yeah.
Same as what's been sent, I guess now you have a paper.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So according to this letter that I did, it says that you
You've seen that, yeah, you got the letter.
it does say that.
Yes.
This thing.
But in here, he says,
That you talked to the guy about ownership and all that.
he says, as far as ownership of the site content, you got full ownership of that as well.
Okay.
They're just gonna host their site.
Okay.
So somebody doesn't know what they're talking about.
So
so that
this,
would be,
what is Discover phone call? Is that what we're,
what?
Discover phone call? Is
Here's the topic, that was when I first called him and asked.
about,
Like
and
a
but so
Discover
this
process.
is,
That was,
so this one's Spyworks, right? The,
yeah, that's
Okay.
Fireworks. He just sent that, so I just opened it. Because he'd been asking about.
oh, there it says it's
Ownership,
Spyworks.
yeah,
Sorry, I
Spyworks.
just saw Discovery phone
Oh.
calls, I'm like.
Yeah, that was just the rest of it, but, and then he added that last piece, which is a non-issue at this point, but still a point. Up,
Could I have copies of those at the end of the
Sure.
meeting, please?
sure.
You know, I understand why you put that in, because he's a professional, and you see what the other person was in a professional, and it shows it.
Great. Oh, yeah, the part's right here. Oh, this is what you're bringing up.
Yeah, we knew about those. They're on there, they just haven't, they've been on there for a long time, but until this was settled, we were just been late. Why they weren't put up before, I can't answer.
That's what we tried to ask earlier, but
Pardon
apparently.
me?
We tried to ask that earlier of someone who's not here, so I won't, it's a non-issue now, but we were told that he didn't need to, he just needed to be told that, so.
Actually, that's been a discussion that Richard and I have been
Told that.
having.
Just this.
No.
No, that was just that, about who, whether the city owns, or this, whether the site is, it's not a law to have a website, but if you have a website, you have to post certain things along with it. Total max, the max levy has never been posted, and that has to be up there all the time as well. I didn't find that in time today to add that, but that's one of the things that make it an incorrect, not legal website. Not official
So as far
website.
as, we have to publish our personal email address to
Or a phone number.
our phone number.
Yep, that should have been required of you for a while now.
A lot of stuff.
Would you like us to make a decision on this tonight, or what are your thoughts?
I'd like to move forward so we can get it going. I know he has this letter that I didn't get, I just got it from someone else. that, you know, that- I know it's not supposedly required, but it's nice to have the site.
I believe the timing was initiated due to the fact that our previously paid-for hosting was to run out at the end of this
Yes.
month, which was why the goal would have been to have your new solution ready to
Okay.
take over, so we don't have the site go down
So we don't
again
have a gap
for
there.
2 to 3 months or whatever it was there previously last fall, summer. I don't really know. But
Can I make a motion since I'm on the committee? I make a motion that we proceed with Spireworks. to design our new website for us.
Okay, Jay has made the motion to proceed with fireworks for a new website. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jean. Is there any further? We've had a motion by Jay and a second by Jean to approve fireworks proposal for the new website for the city of Paullina. Do we have any discussion? Karen?
Do we have any idea when they can get started on it? You have- Or I don't
In
know.
a month.
In a month? It'll take them a month, I know that.
About a month. They can start sooner than that.
Any, okay.
Did you guys have a chance to look at the websites?
I did, I pulled up all, this one.
All.
My favorite one was fireworks.
Yeah, it was Alton, no?
Yes,
Check it out.
yes.
My wife says, wow, that's handy.
Does Sheldon have fireworks also?
No.
They use that other one that we talked about that gives you the website. No, not the same one.
Okay.
It's a separate attachment that has all of their agenda items and things in it. It's
Oh,
called Town
okay.
Cloud. That's out
Okay.
of Colorado, but they run and they can give us a quote too, but that's a separate thing.
No, I was like, nothing.
I did get another, just in the email was, where's that, it is in your, yeah. Civic City, Civic Kit, whatever, is a quote, just for reference as well. For US pricing is $4,500 for a one-time setup and $225 a month is another example of, that's another municipal type government website designer that is offered to cities, civickit.com.
And me was fireworks too, they're out of Spirit Lake, so it's not.
Right.
That's halfway close.
Yeah, and he originally worked at K Products, I knew him from K
Oh,
Products.
really?
And you said that was the one that TCA uses? or-
No, they have.
TCA have the Pinnacle, they're out of Bemidji.
Yeah.
I don't have them, they've used them, I guess. should
These
say.
guys will do our hosting for us too, so we don't have a separate hosting. What's it?
Just to give them
Yeah.
ideas of what you want.
Yeah, I just,
Kinda
we
how
want, yeah, yeah.
You want it to be.
We can get it as our committee together and all this. and- Did you look at
Yep.
Alton's up?
Mhm.
That was a nice site.
Yep. It was, yeah.
So then the city would own the domain? And then when new council, new mayor, and all that just, the website ownership stays with the city of Paullina?
Should always belong to the entity
Yeah.
that pays for it to be developed, pays for it to be maintained, pays for the name. It's not just up for sale when it renews every year. It will renew every year, and if you don't pay, and after a certain period of time, then you put it on the market, someone could buy it then legally. But otherwise, no, it should always maintain with the city.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter.
That guy from, did you get this one, Steve? The guy from Fire, he
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
you want ownership as well. They just will host the site. So they'll be our host.
Okay, so we've had a motion by Jay and a second by Jean to approve fireworks for your new website. Do we have any other discussion or questions? Otherwise, hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right, one nay from Steve. Were your questions not answered? Did you have more?
Nope.
Okay, next on the list, do we want to bring back, we did actually go with an approval for your, but shall we?
Yeah,
let
sorry for
Rich-
being late. I
That's
got
okay,
up in
we
the
just
field.
missed you. Can we, is it okay with everyone to bounce back so we can
Yep.
have some questions asked of him? I tried to give a rough overview of what I heard
Sure.
a month ago when you brought this up, but,
Sure,
so if you want to give us the
kind of the
story
lowdown.
again, yeah, give us the lowdown and then they can ask any questions. maybe
Sure,
that they
sure.
need.
So, basically what brought this up was, we do this with a couple other cities in our, within AgriVision. And, it allows us to, it's good for, we look at it for, it can be good for both parties here. So it allows us to bring in some newer equipment at low hours, because you guys get to use it for a year and then we're gonna rotate it out. And then it allows us to have some newer used equipment with low hours and warranty and so on and so forth. So it helps us as a business, but it also in turn helps you guys because you're able to run new equipment under warranty, no exposure. With the amount of hours that you guys are putting on, you won't even have to service it. The most you have to do is check oil and maybe hit a greaser or two. So that's going to be about it. So anything else would be covered under warranty other than self-induced, like hitting something really hard and bending something or breaking something. Of course, that stuff's not covered under warranty. But what we're proposing there, we're proposing, we had talked about skid loaders and a wheel loader and possibly a compact excavator. Doing 2 skid loaders, the thought there is we would keep 1 skid loader out at the store, but initially you guys would buy it up front, and on the back side I would pay you back on it as agrivision, less whatever hour usage you may use on it. If you don't use any hours on it, basically it doesn't cost you anything, but you have an extra skid loader there at any time you need it, you can use it. So it's just a matter of whenever you grab it, you just use it, and basically at a rate of $35 an hour on that one, you're able to use that one and really no other out-of-pocket costs again, okay? You would have to insure these as they would be sold to you, and so we've put them on a contract or a lease through John Deere with a guaranteed buyback, and we're guaranteed the buyback. So with that, there would be what we'll call a usage fee or a lease payment of on the 344P that we set up, be $8,000 a year. The 332G, $5,000. Same with the 325, $5,000, and the 35G compact excavator, $5,000. You can go with 1, you can go with 2, you can go with all 4 of these items. Right now with your skid, it makes really good sense because your skid loader, when you look at, it's really close to the same price as the skid we got. At bare minimum, I think that's a good buy. Even if you don't do the lease program, it would be a good avenue for you to go down. With the trades, any one of those trades, what we would do is we would write you a check out. So we would just pay you out for your equity. So you guys could put that into a holding account or do whatever you guys would decide to do with that money down the road. If something would change and you want to change it up, I think it'd be great to put it into a holding account in case you ever decide to. That's totally up to you guys, but just something we've done with other cities. They've used that money and thrown it into a holding account or maybe used it somewhere else for down the road. But there's a lot of different ways you can cut that one out.
So how fast can we start this? Like, do you have it like ready to go? Like they could.
Depends on which equipment. So the skids I could probably get pretty quick. The wheel loader and the compact excavator I'd have to place orders. The last order I placed, I think they looked at a June, July delivery date.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking. I won't know until I put a hard order in, but that's what I knew. When we did this here, probably about, it's been almost a month since I talked to Kelly and Scott. So
Kelly should maybe come out and talk to you then.
So yeah, if you guys know which way you want to go, just let me know and I can get things moving. Some of these skid loaders, these were 2 I happen to have in stock. So like I say, if I've got them, we could move pretty quick on those. So, and if we decide down the road that if we've got to build up, Kelly and Scott both asked, what if you don't want that used equipment? Well, what we would do is maybe we're getting too much somewhere, and I don't see that happening because we're short everywhere. We've been short for quite a while. But if it would happen, we would go to a 2-year turn, but you still would carry the warranty. We'd make sure you still have full warranty, no exposure. Again, the amount of hours, you're not even going to hit the minimum service hours yet, even at a 2-year turn. So.
I know Brenda said that she tried to get a hold of Oakland. You talked
Yeah,
about, and
we
I don't know if
got
that was
the
you
mayor of
guys or
Oakland.
not. Yep.
Yep.
But who else have you done in the area besides
I know the mayor, and I believe that the town of Red Oak, I believe. I've got to double check with that. I've got the name for the mayor of Oakland and I had passed it on to Kelly.
Okay.
That's the one I'm aware of, that I got names for, so. And they've been doing it several years now, so. They like it, they get to run newer equipment and don't have any other exposure other than their payment, each year. And again, it does help our business too. I'm looking at that from that point of view. It helps the city have some nice new equipment, but it's gonna help us on the back end, hopefully have some newer use to offer also.
Sounds good.
So. And it allows us to do that. I don't know if he shared that, but it's all through a Sourcewell discount. So Paullina is part of Sourcewell, City of Paullina is, and so that allows us a very large discount. So that's why we're able to do that at the price that you guys are seeing.
Sounds good.
Any questions for him?
No.
We talked about what if we decide to, or you decide to stop, what do? We have no equipment then, so
Right,
we
that
couldn't
is.
buy out?
You could buy it out. You could buy it out. We could. Again, it's a guaranteed buyback, so I'm guaranteed to buy it back. And then in the end, you're like, well, that's more than what we want to spend. You don't have what we want. You still could go out on the open market at that point. I'm still guaranteeing the buyback on the equipment as Agrivision would buy it back, so you're not hung with the lease. Does that make sense? Because I know we talked about that too. We're guaranteeing the buyback as Agrivision, so at the end of the lease, we are guaranteeing the buyback ourselves.
And
So
it's
we
a
would
lease,
buy it.
a yearly lease.
An annual lease, yep. Good questions.
Instantaneous service, of course, right?
What's that?
Instantaneous service.
We're close and we'll get there as quick as we can.
The other drive, the other way.
So the nice thing about being as close as we are, we've got 6 guys in mobile trucks and I've got 3 more graduating soon, so that'll get us up to, call or help, we'll be at 23 technicians here soon.
Wow, good deal.
So if you get a chance, stop out and see our addition. It's
I was
been,
gonna say, you got it done?
yeah, we're really close. It's
Right.
enclosed, we're getting the cranes up right now, so that's exciting too.
Good.
So it's so close we can almost taste it, so we're
Have to
we're
stop
right at
up.
the end.
I'm sure.
Oh.
Yep.
But if you have any other questions as we go, and like I say, you guys talked about which way you want to go and which items, we'll move ahead with whatever you guys are comfortable with. Excuse me.
Okay,
We'll send Kelly out.
yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Rich.
See ya.
Alright. Now we're turning to your regularly scheduled programming with item 15, the resolution to approve the DGR bid recommendation to award Harold K. Schultz Company the contract furnishing the 15 kilovolt outdoor sheltered aisle switchgear at $795,000, and that is all there was the bid opening. We only received the one bid, and Dennis was here for that process and walked us through it. And here's the details. He said that this is they're out of Omaha. They are one of their ones they use to do this type of work all the time. So we had great reference, I guess, for Harold K. Schultz, and then the other one was, what was that?
Is that
company name?
24?
The switchgear thing. What?
So the thing over there by the city, or by the sheds over there.
I know, but it says guaranteed delivery date 7/1/24.
Right, that's gonna be done.
They'll have to be done with it.
Done and on it.
Done.
So this is for the part that's, this HKS, this is the actual, because it takes so long for them to get them and put them together, and then they'll worry about the building, I guess, the enclosure from Harvard Integration, that's what it was, and Eaton as the breaker manufacturer. So that enclosure, I think, still comes as a separate next piece, the shed that they're gonna put it in instead of where it is now.
Yeah,
In
you're
between
building
the
a shed
two.
between.
Yeah, between the two fence and
The fence
the current
and the
thing.
current building.
And then we
Did
can,
Kelly have any idea who Primgar had when they did theirs? Was it the same guy?
it could be, I don't know, but
I just
we didn't
wondered.
ask.
They use DGR.
Yeah, they used
Yeah, but
DGR,
it was
but we don't know who did the bid.
This was way lower than what Did
Well,
they expect like
way
1.2
lower than what we were
Yeah,
originally.
Well, this isn't the total
1.2
yet.
I
This
know.
is
Yeah.
But
This is the
But this
range.
looks prettier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's a lot
that
prettier.
number
It's a lot prettier than that million something.
You bet.
but, yeah, we may end up there though.
Yeah.
Because we still have
But
to
be
get.
positive, girl.
Yeah. I know, I'm trying.
Be positive looks better.
So-
So I think,
Do we have to start talking about how we're gonna bond this, or?
not quite yet.
Yeah.
That would be coming next. He said he can work with us on that and help us point us in that direction too. But you'll see in the next item is the next master plan that needs to be done as well before we can even move into.
So we have to okay this bid then?
Correct, you need to approve the bid recommendation, which, so DGR, you hired them for their expertise. They are recommending and saying, yes, this is a good company. They provided the approved bond. They have all the official documentation they needed to.
Can we get rid of that not firm pricing in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take that out of there.
You know that
So
works.
we never got seen that.
Yeah. I move that we approve the recommendation of award of contract furnishing 15 kV outdoor shelter aisle switchgear project to DGR project number 420004.
you named the company that got it.
We gotta look down
To verification.
there. Harold K. Schultz, and award the bid, the bid received from Harold K. Schultz Company.
For the total price.
Yeah, well, for a total price of
Right.
$795,000.
Okay, thank you. Jay has made the motion to approve DGR's bid recommendation to award Harold K. Schultz the contract furnishing 15 kV outdoor sheltered aisle switchgear at $795,000. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jean. Is there any further discussion or questions that I could answer? Dennis is probably the better person to answer questions.
He's the one that came when like Carol and I were gone. Is this when I was gone in February? That's when he came. I don't ever remember him being here.
We've never had a DGR guy come in.
No,
No.
I met with him and Scott and somebody, Steve maybe,
We
when
have
they were
the-
talking about the stuff out there at the lake. Then DGR was here, but that's the only time I see him.
I didn't know if Dennis ever came.
I don't think so.
Okay.
He probably will at some next point. I don't know which point, but he did say he's welcome to and would. But he'll be in touch, I think, a lot on this going forward. This step will allow them to then order what they need to for the project and get things going. Okay, so we've had a motion and a second. Motion by Jay and a second by Jean to go forward with this recommendation awarded contract. Do we have any other discussion? Calling for a vote, all in favor, say aye.
It's a resolution.
Oh, sorry, resolution, roll call vote, thank you.
Yep, I was gonna say, I think we got a
So we'll read out.
Steve Herron,
All right,
Carol Hunkell,
yes.
Jay Jones,
Aye.
Lexi Murphy,
Yes.
Gina Enroe.
Yes.
Is that all ayes?
All ayes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item 16 is a resolution to approve the task order amendment 3 to the DGR Engineering Master Professional Services Agreement for Electric Distribution System, CIP, which is Capital Improvements Plan. So this, do we have it in here? That came later, I'll take that. There it is.
Oh, the task order, there you go.
Yeah. It's the one with the fee schedule and the task order 3. Those were the pieces that were provided. So this is essentially to come up with the phased order of what is necessary to roll out improvements across the whole, our entire city distribution system. Everything from going underground to checking on transformers, checking loads. As you can see, there's a lot of details here, but this is how Kelly sort of described it in it. Then using this, he can go forward and they'll have some sort of a plan to follow in updating. Right now, it says they're more reactive than proactive. This would allow them to be proactive following a recommended plan by someone who's an engineer rather than them just guessing and saying, oh, let's try this area right now, and this underground or whatever. So this would allow them to, and this could be used, he says, 4 years to come. It's not just like it's not a short-term situation. It would have some length of time that could be referred to for other projects as well. So as you see, that is on the page 2 or 4, whatever it is, it's 19,000, again, an engineering fee that creates this. Written report used as a planning tool for staff. It'll include a narrative of the existing system, the study and analysis process, the deficiencies identified, and the recommended improvements and associated cost estimates. So it gives us a plan to say, here's where our weakest links are, here's what we need to update next, here's a big issue, here's one we thought was maybe a bigger issue is not so much and could wait. So it gives you a way to schedule a plan of attack for budgeting and working ahead instead of waiting for things to fall to pieces and then trying to fix them.
So this is the master agreement for that,
This is just to allow them to do that initial study and give us that,
the DGR.
yeah, the DGR. Right.
I move that we approve task order amendment 3 to the DGR Engineering Master Professional Service Agreement for Electric Distribution System Capital Improvements Plan.
And Jay has introduced the resolution to approve the task order amendment 3 to DGR Engineering for the electric distribution system CIP. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Jean. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll call for a roll call vote.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Hunkell,
Yes.
Jay Jones,
Aye.
Lexi Murphy. Yes. Jean Enra,
Yes.
all ayes.
This resolution passes. Okay. All right.
This-
What's that?
Did this blacktop service?
Yes,
that's
Got
it.
into the
Oh, yeah.
agenda.
No, that is there for your budget referral
Okay.
purposes. That's not really, well, he wanted to show you that, because you've had this before, I believe. Didn't you see this, that we had this in here before?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So
Wow.
he got contacted to get a second quote, but he tells me, although I was appealed by the lower prices, it's not apples to apples.
Well, that's all I was
Yeah.
wondering, I just
It's
did
not,
math
yeah.
on it.
Well,
It's,
to me, I'd run
21,000.
Yeah.
No, I said, buy these guys, right?
Yeah,
Well, either
let's
that or get
have
some-
them come in.
References to see
Yeah.
what they, to me, it wouldn't hurt to check maybe a little more, because
And
it
I-
is quite a bit cheaper.
It is, but as you can see, for the apples to apples part. the
You have to
Street-
add them all up.
Well, I did.
Right, but even then.
But
it's
even
still-
then, it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not, it's not the same.
160,000 compared to 250.
Fuller and Sons,
Then I
I guess,
do my math.
mills out the
Maybe we'll
bad
look at
stuff
it.
and then
I
fills it
didn't-
in with new
I
mix.
don't- But I don't even put that one street on when I do the
Wood
math.
Street, okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you see, those are similar. They had 143 or something for wood and they had 140. So they are, when they're
Yeah.
doing the same project, they are similar in price.
For
They're
that,
probably-
but for the patchwork though.
It's different type
It's
of.
a lot different.
Right, the other one does
Like that
the,
sewer cut's
rock.
1,200 for them and
Right.
over here it's, which one goes down Green Street?
Yeah.
Green Street.
yeah.
The only one I don't see on here is Parker. Right.
The new one?
Where,
It said East Prospect, South Minkley to South Parker. Or all
No, the
all
rest-
Parker, is that Wood Street plus all of Parker plus,
That's what I'm thinking.
is that the 140?
40,000, yep.
yeah,
That's what I thought, I don't
that's
know.
Harper Street.
I still think I would like to check to see what some other cities, if they've had them before.
Yeah.
How
I've
they
seen them
store it. I
advertised.
mean, maybe he's
I
not,
think he's had them.
maybe he's not
before.
fancy writing it out, but if he does a good job, how do we know?
Well, we can,
I
we
think
can
you
call
have had
Wood
them
Bank,
before.
and I'm sure
That's
Wood
right.
Bank's gotten them.
Well, that's where they live, but, find out who else they've done as far as cities.
I think you have had them before. I think Kelly said you have had used them before.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Just because they do it a little differently with milling it out and.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys come in and actually mill out,
Take the old
take the old
damaged part.
down.
But isn't that a good idea? To
Yeah,
get rid of
that's
the
a
old?
better, yeah,
So
then you go
yes.
down to
Yes.
the base, because The other ones, they just mainly.
Over the top.
Seal coat over the top.
Right, so I just still think we should leave, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we need to put this on the May agenda to make enough, you
Yeah.
know, that gives us,
Well,
if
right,
whoever's
and
find
if we
enough time.
have-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's.
You
Yeah,
do have
lots
in
of
your
people.
budget, as you saw for that, and the wood.
Yep,
Yeah, because we still
Because you
from
didn't
last year.
spend
Yeah,
all
we
of your
never
money
did.
last year,
Yeah.
any of it
How
really.
much is in that? I don't know.
That was 60.
Yeah, that'd be right, yeah.
So that plus what you normally would spend, which was 150-ish, you would, in the past years, you would have be right there at the full shoot
Yep.
match. But
Because he has 12,000 to do May,
Maybe.
maybe,
for
yeah.
12,000 for spots, and these guys are gonna do the whole seal coating for 34,000
Yeah,
dollars.
34,000, yeah, so I don't know,
So
I'd
he-
get a hold of them and ask for some references, where
These
you
guys,
been?
yeah, these guys are going to go in and patch.
Yep, so, and like you said, if they dig it out first,
Yeah.
and we can make better streets that last a little longer,
Yeah.
would be good.
Which agenda item are you on?
it's not an agenda item.
No, which is, she put it out for
Brought
quick.
it up.
It was just there for reference related to the budget. It wasn't.
Yeah, let's move on.
We had that, yeah, discussed. So, okay, what we are looking for is the resolution to cancel the special assessment on property owned by the city at 403 East Broadway,
Okay.
which was the, thing from Tisha. I think you have just one page of it, but.
Do we have that in here?
Yeah, it's on the
Very
last
last
Yeah,
page.
right, very last.
Oh,
So this was the other half of the situation. You resolved half of it
Yeah,
last
right.
time, and we said we were gonna look at this the next time. So this
Yeah.
is, we're about due to handle
Taken
that.
care of. Yep. And then we're paying the special assessment, right?
This would,
We just
Cancel
this
it.
would cancel it out with the $5 difference. It's only costs $5 to reverse the two.
No, I thought we had to pay that whole 16.
You get it all back minus $5.
Right, minus $5.
Right.
Right, but you still have to pay it,
Send
don't
it.
you?
But
Isn't
the
that the way
city,
it works?
the city has to pay it.
Yeah, the city
Correct.
pays it and you get it all back.
Oh, we get it all back.
Besides
Except for
$5.
$5.
Yeah,
That's paperwork.
yeah.
It's like paying ourselves.
Yep, it is, it's kind of
Because
a,
it was
Paper
fees
trail.
we assessed, not the county. We
So what
said,
Tisha is saying is it would be good if we,
Yeah.
yes,
because it'd be easier to sell the property.
Yes.
exactly,
Right.
because
Yeah,
you're
'cause it'll be
basically
like-
punishing a future person for
Right.
sitting
Because
the
if
password.
we don't, that assessment stays on it, and we sell the property to some individual, then they have to pay
Inherit
the
that.
they
assessment.
can percentage of it or whatever.
It's just,
I-
it's
We do
just
that
an
to the old-
incentive.
Did we do that to the old camp property, or?
I think we ate that one.
I don't know what we did.
I would, oh yeah,
It's
it
just
might
small.
still be on
It's not
there.
as big.
Ours is
We didn't
still
have
Yeah, I don't know.
It's still on there.
We haven't done anything, no.
It would just be an incentive for someone to purchase
Right.
Yeah.
it, because that's not on, that assessment's
It's
not
gone,
on there.
yep.
I'll make the motion that we approve the resolution to cancel the special assessment on the property owned by the city at 403 East Broadway Street.
I will second that resolution, motion.
Okay, we've had a motion, or a motion by Lexi and a second by Carol to approve the resolution to cancel the special assessment on property owned by the city of Paullina, Iowa at 403 East Broadway Street. Do we have any other discussion needed? Or questions? Let's call for a roll call vote.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Longcom,
Yes,
Jay Jones,
Aye.
Lexi Murphy,
Yes.
Jane Unruh.
Yes,
All ayes. All ayes, resolution passes. We'll get that signed and to Tisha.
Yep.
Okay, this is not a complete career task. Kelly was not able to get a print version of the bid for clearing trees on that, the East Broadway property, the one you just debated or canceled the
can't do that
special
one?
assessment. I have one quote and he didn't get it. He didn't leave anything. Okay. So right now it's looking like $5,000 to $16,000 to clear that lot, to get it not leveled, but to clear out the trees and get it so they can.
And
mow
like
it
that,
and
in
clean it
that
up. The
garage or
shed, yeah.
whatever you wanna call
Is
that.
that, is that all the way back or just the front?
I thought, what did
That's
he
all.
do, just the front?
Well, it's all two,
I think
two
just the
main
front.
ones.
And
I'm
who
not
was this
following
by?
you.
I don't know if he went all the way around.
Who was it, who was it
You
Yeah.
have two folds, you have two lots, yeah, it's true.
from
This-
5 to
So I don't know if
Yeah,
it went all
well,
the
he
way
had a
around.
very low number,
Yeah,
but
I
then
don't
he
know.
said that was with the city guys hauling it away to the dump. Whereas Chad's quote included Chad hauling it to the dump. So
Right.
that is a cost to you, even though it's not on paper. If you have your city crew do that, then they're not doing other things.
Exactly, the city.
So the 5,000 is if
free, but
the
it's
city, if the city,
Right.
the 16,000 is if Chad does it.
Right. And you-
All of it.
Right, and you could have, the other quote was from NCC, Beth Collins and their heavy equipment program, so they would also, could haul it as
Do we have
well.
that quote?
But we haven't heard that one yet. He never
Well,
got
he
it.
just gave it verbally, he wouldn't print it, he didn't get it printed in time, or
Oh,
put,
okay.
he said he didn't reply to him on email or something, but, so
Okay.
we don't have, we just have a verbal on that, but he said it
Was
could be
it
as low
cheaper,
as,
or what was the,
well, it was the 5,000 if they haul, the city crew hauled it away.
No.
I'm thinking she's
Oh,
talking
where's
about
the
the
full-
NCC one, I think.
Yeah, that is the NCC quote, the 5,000 was from NCC, sorry.
Oh.
This was.
Oh, I thought the 5,000
I was
was.
just
I'm
for
sorry,
hauling,
yeah.
yeah.
For
That's
hauling,
what
that's what I was
understood you
confused
did.
about.
okay.
5,000 from the NCC to just clear it all out, pile it up, and then our guys would take it and haul it to the dump. That would
Okay,
be our
I
guys.
thought the 5,000 was,
I did too.
okay,
Yeah,
you were,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
right.
Okay.
So,
And we'll
but
get it in a
they,
paper,
will
but
they will not haul it, the NCC
I
guys?
think they can, they just, he
Well-
needed to quote both of those and he didn't have that.
He just had the first 5 that they would do it.
How about we just table this until he gets. the
Yeah.
quotes?
Yeah.
So we get it.
Let's table this
Okay.
till the May meeting.
yeah,
All
Yep.
right,
Can you tell him to get quotes
so
on?
just,
I'll make the emotion that we table this to the May meeting.
I'll second that.
Alrighty.
all right. Alexis's made the motion and Steve has made the second to table this until we get an official second quote.
Yep.
Do you have any other further questions or clarifications?
Just so we have
So can we have
further
it,
quotes.
yeah, for,
Put something
in
written.
our pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this last one was an outdated quote too, so we may get Chad to update that. That
Yeah,
was
right.
from
Okay.
last fall, so we'll
Yep.
get updated one from him and the NCC quote. Okay, all right, and any other questions? Otherwise, we can call for a vote. All in favor of tabling this to our May 1st meeting, say aye.
um,
And opposed, say nay. All ayes, motion carries. Okay, reports, things have not been said, and we did have the city of Sheldon reimbursed us for Trenton's classes, academy payments, we received that. Rich and Josh have been at the waste, or have it this weekend again, another day or two of the wastewater class. Josh is going for his DNR water test on Wednesday, I think it is, the 19th. They had 300,000 pounds of sand and salt taken from the county, so we'll get that bill, we don't know what it is, but just so you know, that was a lot to this year. So that-
300,000 pounds.
That's what he said, it's what the total weight tickets were. So we will see what that is, but I'm guessing that's probably not what the budget was for that, so we'll have to look at
That was just salt?
sand and salt. So yes, that was one to be concerned with, and test. Personnel, I think that covers it, and then Kelly has his completed list here for you to read. I won't read it out loud, maybe you can do that, but they're getting things going at different places, the golf course, Swanson, the park. They're helping the construction get going up north on Fields Lot there and getting that. They got the tires replaced on those vehicles and starting some things. Happy to see some green grass, I think. Anything else on that, if you remember? Anything from your end?
We're working on the adjustments for the bills. We've got the spreadsheet almost complete. It's quite the task.
I can believe it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So that's everybody, or just the residents yet?
that's everybody.
That's everybody.
With the spreadsheet, now you have to go in and enter each one for their bill and the tax
Tax.
refund. So if anyone wants to do data
Does
entry,
it feel,
See,
does it do the tax for you, or do you have to do it?
I'll figure it.
Just like you had to add them all up too. Good gosh.
so it's,
Well, Jeannie? Me and you?
Right?
he's got free time.
Yep. Suppose we better have her
Otherwise
training
it
go
will
first,
take-
huh?
I
Take
suppose.
2 days, they said.
Yeah.
2 days,
Take
actually.
one
nonstop.
person, 2 days nonstop.
That much, and that's for that. And then the guys did go out and read today.
And they got it to work finally, you said.
Fingers crossed.
Did he order one of those, did you say?
Not quite yet, but
Not yet? Okay.
they will.
Does it work,
No.
he thinks?
Nate is not here. Ryan, report?
Well, we're on schedule, I guess, to have a busier year than last year, which is just exciting. Yeah. So yeah, trying to get some more equipment in the door and more members, so I have my eyes on 3 more potential applicants, so,
Nice, good.
yeah.
And are you gonna see about doing the cement out there? Did you talk to Kelly or not, or?
Patched it, yeah, we're gonna patch it
Are
at
you?
some point,
Okay.
so, on a nice day,
Yep.
so.
That was in your budget for that, or in the past, it had been set aside?
He's got it up, I think, in his
That's
budget.
before my time,
It was, yeah.
Huh?
True,
So-
that's true.
We'll just have to look at it.
Smart,
make sure
I
it's
don't know
good.
what
Well,
happened
once
to
you
it.
find out a price.
What, where's cement?
He's gonna
Stay
patch
at
the
home.
front of the
That's
fire
been on the-
department, it's pretty
That's been on
bad.
the list for about 10 years.
yeah.
Yeah, but it just needs to be,
Yes, that's part of the things that are changing, but.
When's the county gonna enact a burning ban? After last week,
I'm not gonna comment on that.
We are not in a burning ban as
No,
of
we
right
are
now.
not.
oh, see, I thought we were.
No,
Too.
they took.
All they've been, no, we've never been in a burning ban.
Yeah, this
We've been in-
spring at all,
We've
yeah?
been in red flag warnings from the National Weather Service.
Okay, I seen
That
those.
is not a burn ban.
Huh,
So red flag warning is just warning citizens not to go out and burn, so.
no, I did think it was out.
You want us to pick it the county?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Someone know if Lori had anything more to share?
Haven't heard anything
Sorry.
about it.
Nope.
Okay. Matt is here, we'll let him get, say anything you've got, Matt, share your update now.
All right, the only thing to just give an update for you guys on, because word's getting around, we've been in some conversation with the city of Archer about their library services. They had a catastrophic building failure, and they are questioning about potentially contracting with our library to provide for their services. Nothing is set in stone. There's a lot of process to go through here, but it might mean that later in the summer, if an arrangement was reached, it would change our budget by adding some funds from their city and then adding those funds into our budget to provide services. We don't know what that will look like yet. There's a lot of discussions. There might be other towns or cities that jump on and offer a contract, but we were reached out to, so we're going to explore it as a board and as a library, and we'll keep in touch with you guys as we know more.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, if any committees met yet to discuss anything, not that you were supposed to, I'm just asking. I haven't heard of any, but no reports, okay? Council comments?
I met with Carol, I called her if we had heard anything back after her council meeting to see if she could actually be our interim city clerk, and she said that council there decided that we need to have a workshop so that everybody gets together, their council and our council. She said any she said any day but a Wednesday, because that's when they have their meetings usually. And the other thing she said was they would also like us to talk with their guys and Kelly about how they're gonna help together with the trees and stuff. So she thought it would be a double good workshop meeting to get both things discussed.
So maybe we need to schedule that for maybe next month?
Yeah, I don't know that. But she said the only day they don't like is the Wednesdays.
Or maybe the second Wednesday?
They meet the second Wednesday for sure, because they only do one meeting a month. But, because I asked her if they had a date, she said no. You guys picked and we'll go from there. So,
If you guys want to look at your calendars, send Michelle a list of no's maybe dates instead of yeses, whichever one is the smaller, then we'll try to compile those and see if there's something we can send a couple options to come back. Try that.
And she is still in between, even until we have our workshop, she will come in and help. And in fact, she's talking about coming tomorrow, I think.
So do we need to have like a 23E thing with them? Like, huh?
2080.
Oh, 2080, sorry.
I don't think she was talking that, but I can't swear on that either.
They kind of thought there might have been one in the past.
Because we talked about
Had never
doing, at our
canceled or whatever.
one workshop we had with them, we talked about a
Oh,
28E
okay.
with the guys.
Okay.
So I didn't
That
know.
needs to be formalized, yeah.
Right.
and Something, and they were supposed to be meeting to figure out how to
Okay.
get that down.
No, she didn't bring that up, so I don't know. But if we've got some dates that we would like to meet, because our Mondays are busy, so maybe a Thursday or, I don't know, Tuesday, I guess, I don't know.
Everybody look at the
Send some
calendar
options,
and
you know,
maybe get back.
to
Maybe
where
get, just send some
you can do it
dates
by
back. to
Yeah.
Friday,
Michelle.
maybe, by this week Friday or Wednesday, maybe by Wednesday. Can we do it by Wednesday?
Yeah, oh, have them, some dates in,
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
Dates to Michelle.
Just so we don't hold too long.
Yeah, because then we can kind of get this going for sure. And like she said, and then work with Kelly and their trees, whatever they're all talking about.
And Michelle, everything's working okay since they worked on our PC Advantage, worked on the computers and
Yeah.
installed the, what it was, G-Works on Kelly's computer.
Yep.
Okay, everything's going good? Good.
We finally got rid of all the old passwords and all that stuff, as far as you go.
Okay.
TCA about that, but, yep, those really dusty old new computers are working great. They're still old, they're the same ones, they're not new.
I don't know, I remember
Not
kind
new.
of.
I didn't say it.
There's a quote in your paper that said it was a new computer, but anyway, they're not new computers, still the same computers, just got finally a little more functional.
It's a big cover up.
A little update.
It's a cover up.
Bigger gate. Okay,
So-
any other comments?
No, I got some stuff.
That's good, thank you. No one else, open opportunity to address the council. Glenda?
You were talking about the trees and the power lines. Our back has a power pole. We don't have an alley on that side of the street, and there is a power pole right on the property line. And it was supposed to have been replaced about 15 years ago, along with a tree that is, and I'm sure that tree is on private property, but at that time, the city was supposed to take the tree down and replace that power pole. I know this is not, that power pole goes to 4 different houses. And if that tree would collapse, it would pull 4 houses' power out of their house. It leans. I know Steve was on the city at that time and it was supposed to be done and it never got done. So that's one. They might want to take a look at that.
Maybe
I'm
we'll
not
tell Kelly
saying
to
it's
come
a
in.
dead thing that has to be done right now. And also, when you were talking about the movie theater and the money coming in as a grant I found one, and the city it has to work the same way. Someone has to sponsor this. It's from Poet, which is the ethanol plant up in Ashton, I think it is.
Yep.
And it's a $2,000 grant that you can get, and they call it to beautify your city, is what it is. So the money would have to go towards something that would beautify something in Paullina, that it would benefit the whole town. And so I thought I would just share that with you, because I have a granddaughter that works for Poet. So anyway, that's a thought.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Step out.
Paper and flowers.
Got any
Yeah.
ideas for it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Fix
well,
that fix
Got
that
any
light
ideas for
pole.
fix our flagpole.
Fix our
Yeah.
flagpole.
I mean, you can think, but it still has to be sponsored by, like the theater, they have to have someone that does this, and you guys have been doing that. So it's a thought.
And this is through
Awesome.
Poet?
Pardon, it's through Poet.
Okay.
Do we have to call them to get the, like, material
I
to
think
fill
you
out,
can
or
get it online.
online?
And there's, see, Poet is a big, big company. They have ethanol plants all over.
Sure.
And so you have to go to the one for Ashton up there and click on that, and then that's the one that has to be filled out
Okay.
and sent in. And that one is only $2,000. There are some bigger areas that are up to $25,000, $30,000. But that's a small one up there. It's a thought.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
good
thought.
idea.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
send
you.
Kelly to go look at that pole injury.
Yeah, like I said, it's not, if we had a windstorm
No, but
and
if
that
it
tree
came-
went, it would
As much wet
literally
as we've got.
Right.
pull that whole thing out. And the pole is like this.
Okay.
Those are supposed to be underground.
Should get in there now, yeah, that would help. Okay. Marlon? Nothing.
I'm just curious.
Matt? Been here.
You're
Okay.
that bored?
I like to spend
Do I
time
need
with
to
you
do
You just can't believe what we do
post
here.
for the
Yeah.
rest of this conversation?
Sure, you just want me to send it to you?
That would be great.
No top secret stuff here, just suspicion on your end. Yep, we'll send that email.
It's a conspiracy theory.
We'll email to Spireworks.
The entire thread chain, multiple, however many there were, yes, please.
Okay, got it. Any other comments, requests? Otherwise, I'd entertain.
I'll make the motion
Thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Thank you, Lexi. And no one wants to second
I'll
that?
second.
Thank you, Jean. This motion is second. Lexi, any other reasons we should not adjourn? Say aye. All in favor, say aye of adjournment. Say aye.
Aye.
And
Oh, I got
opposed?
something.
What? Okay. Say nay. All right, all ayes, 7:16. Shane threw me. I'm like, what? And note, your next meeting is Monday. Again, this next
24th.
Monday, yes, budget hearing and then.
3 Mondays in a row.
properties.
Yeah, Monday. Definitely
Month
won't
of
do
Mondays.
So
There's
excited.
5 in May, Memorial Day is one of them, so we won't have to do that.
Anybody at me Tuesday?
Should let us know.
Another day, yeah.
I think we should break, then let's go for Thursday or Friday with that.
registration.
Thank you.
So, is that on?
Yes, I look forward to it.
Remind me again about what we're talking about Monday?
This coming Monday? Yeah, we're doing budget.
Budget? Okay.
Budget and.
So, you were getting at it?